Hey guys, as usual, thanks a lot for clicking on the video. I hope everyone's had a good Christmas, and sorry there hasn't been any content for a wee while, but I have just been up to my eyes in work, dealing with my daughter at university and all of the daily things that life brings to you. Anyway, now I've got a little bit of time off, I'm going to try and do some reviews, and I'm going to start with a review of something that I have looked at for a long time, contemplated buying several times, never actually pulled the plug on it. But I said to myself this year, you know, you need nice things in this life. It's no good just look at them. You're only here once. So, you know, if you want to get something a little bit special and push the boat out, don't hold back, get it. So one thing I've always had ever since I was a teenager is a good quality fixed blade knife. And my latest addition that I've had for the last couple of years, which has proven to be a really fantastic bit of kit, is the Benchmade Bushcrafter. Now this one's called the EOD edition. It was a special edition with the beige handle. I've actually put this little lanyard on the knife myself, done quite a reasonable job on that, I think. So the knife originally came with what's called this Kydex sheath. So it's just like a hard plastic, to be honest, and it's held together with these fastenings here, and the knife goes in, clicks in it perfectly nice. And I would normally just carry this knife in my backpack when I'm out and about. I don't normally put a sheath on my belt or anything like that, but it's just always felt a bit plasticky, this. And one sheath that I have looked at for literally months and months, every time I went onto the internet, I looked at this sheath. It is the Sagewood gear Bushcrafter sheath. That's it there, which I'll show you in a bit more detail in a second. I looked at this so many times, and eventually somebody put some money on my PayPal, and I said to myself, right, I'm treating myself to this Bushcrafter Sagewood gear sheath. It's made by Brian in the United States, and the looks I got from the internet, I could just really tell it was just, you know, full craftsmanship there, really well made. I read the reviews, everybody just said it was just such a beautiful piece of workmanship. I ordered it. Luckily it came all the way to Spain, and I didn't have to pay too much import on it, so that was good. And I also ordered what's called the dangler loop. So the dangler loop goes on the belt, and it permits the sheath or the knife to move around that way, so it's good. It gives it a little bit of articulation. It originally comes with this single loop, which would go onto there, but for me, I just couldn't see I would use that. It would be too restrictive, so the dangler loop just gives it that bit more articulation. And I'll show you it now with a knife in. If you're going to buy one, I did have a little problem when I first got the knife. You're not going to believe what happened. I put it in, right, and it wouldn't come back out. And I'm pulling and heaving. I could not get the knife back out of the sheath. I was holding it, and eventually I pulled it out and went like that. And like, oh, it was like millimeters away from my finger where I was holding the sheath, and I hadn't thought about it. So that's one thing if you get one. What I did was I just got a long blade screwdriver, poked it down, opened it up a little bit. It's got the Kydex sheath bit on the top there. I just opened it, put a bit of lubricating oil in, and it's been absolutely fine. You can see how nice it is there. So that's it there. So I'll just pull a log up now, and I'll give you a little bit better look at how well this is made. So that's it there. So you can have some add-ons. For example, you can have a fire steel on one side of it as an add-on. It's fastened together with these black fastenings, which basically just with a screwdriver, and it's a captive nut on the other side there. And that's the back of it there. You see how nicely it's made. It's just faultless, honestly. You could not fault how well this sheath is actually made and put together. There we go. It's got the Sagewood gear logo in the middle, and as I was saying before, this belt loop here is just really good to have that dangler belt loop, and you can just pop it on and off like that without actually taking your belt off. And I'll just show you how easy it pops out. There we go. Pops out that easy and just clicks back in just like that. Let's have a little look at this knife while I've got it out and doing the review about the sheath. So this knife is actually one of my go-to knives. I would say the only fixed blade knife that I actually have. You know, it's really sharp. It's good for whittling down little bits of wood if you want to make, you know, you can shave little bits of wood off with it. There we go. Just to make kindling if you're going to use a fire steel, for example. So it's a really good knife for that. It's got a really good grip, and one of the other things with this knife as well is you can actually use it with another piece of wood if you want to split pieces of wood down and make small sticks. You've got to be a little bit careful. Really strong knife. Look at that. If I wanted to, I could probably split that again, I would say. There we go. So nice bit of kindling there if I wanted it. You can just shave away. It's really sharp. So, really good knife, the Benchmade. So that's it there on my belt. Show you easy, get it on and off, just with the press studs. Just pull it off, push it back on. Don't need to undo the belt. There we go. And you can see how nicely it will articulate on your belt. And it just pops out like so. There we have it on the belt. Moves nice. Move it to the back, you can get in the car with it. Move it to the front, and it just goes in and out just flawlessly. And because it's got this lock on it here, it's not going to fall out. Take 25. Well, thanks for watching my review of the Benchmade Bushcrafter leather sheath from Sagewood Gear. It's a really well made sheath. If you're looking at it thinking it's a lot, yes it is. In my opinion, it's not that much more than what you pay for a much more inferior product. Treat yourself, buy the sheath, you will not regret it. And that's all I've got to say. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to click and subscribe if you like the channel.